Joining me today from St. Louis, Missouri is one of the top flyweight contenders in the country. You can catch his next fight at Anthony Pettis FC5. That happens on June 11th. Danny Moriarty. Dan, welcome to the show. Always a pleasure.
Hey, yeah, man, I missed coming on here. I'm happy to be on again. That was fun last time. We had a good time talking about like the Jake Paul fight. That was like the next day, I think.
And there's another Jake Paul fight. He's fighting Nate Diaz
Dude,
next. And I'm not trying to see that fight, man. I'm not trying to see it.
dude, you
Zero.
already know what's gonna happen. Like you already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna get Diaz is probably gonna lose. However, he's gonna lose either by decision or whatever. But it's just, I mean, the Anderson thing was like heartbreaking, dude. He was doing so good. He was doing so good, and then just fell off, and then got rocked in that last round. And it just sucks.
So it's going to be, I'm assuming it's like 8 rounds or something like that. It'll be eight
Yeah,
rounds of Nate Diaz circa fighting Leon Edwards, where he's clowning around the entire time,
yeah,
making an ass of himself. He'll land a few
yeah.
shots and he'll lose by split decision to Jake
You know
Paul.
what's funny is like my coach is still always like he's like Leon, he's like Nate's the actual champion. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he beat Leon. I'm like, how did he didn't beat Leon? He's like, yeah, did you see the end? He rocked him, he knocked him out and pointed at him. That means he won. Like he's always saying stupid shit like that. I'm like, dude, no. He he lost. He's like, no, Nick, or he's like, Nate's the champion for sure.
Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
respectfully disagree. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to see that fight, but I am trying to see your fight.
Oh
We
yeah.
got a really exciting one lined up, and I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit. Like, it's been a minute since you've been in the cage, and I follow your career pretty closely. And I know at the tail end of last year, very beginning of this year, it was around that time frame. You were supposed to fight for a local promotion. Fight falls through. So I kind of wanted to ask you without like getting too much into it, because talking about injuries, it's kind of a taboo thing. We don't
Yeah.
do that. But just kind of like, where is your body? Like, where are you physically right now?
Oh, dude, I'm 100%. I there that was such a weird time. Like I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of big life stuff, and then on top of that, like I was trying to get ready for this fight, and we were probably like 5 weeks out, and they still hadn't found anybody, and it was crazy. Like, and I give all props to Marlene and Brad, like they're the promoters around here that do NFA, and they were doing everything they could, and we'd have like three or four guys. They'd be like, I have this guy on the hook, I have this guy on the hook, and it kind of gets ridiculous because like I've come to the conclusion that I'm just going to be ready for everybody. I don't need to be picky and you know pick my fights and do whatever. I'll fight whoever. Just get me someone in there, have them sign the contract, and let's do it. Like that's all I care about. I'm not getting any younger. I gotta go. So they were doing their best. They were offering guys this and that, and like, and it sucks with those local promotions because I feel like the mystique of like LFA or like APFC or A1 or something like that, where you could be like, hey, you're gonna fight this guy in his hometown, but hey, guess what? You're on Fight Pass. Like
Right.
none of that is there. So it's just like, oh, hey, do you want to come in and fight our hometown guy on a local promotion that's not gonna necessarily pay you the best and whatever. So and they did their best and we couldn't find anybody, and then I got injured the last couple weeks, and it sucked, man. This has been the longest winter of my life and like, but it took 2-3 weeks. I was back in the gym, and I haven't stopped. We've just been looking for the opportunity.
Given that scenario that you just laid out for me, I would expect most fighters to find some jobber out there who works at Walmart full time, trains out of his basement and hits bags a little bit, and
Yeah.
1-7 record. I would expect a lot of guys that are coming off an injury. It's been a minute since they've been in competition to fight a jobber like that. You're not doing
Yep.
it. You're taking a very, very difficult fight against a very, very upper echelon opponent. Like, give me your mindset. Like, what are you thinking? Like before this fight comes together, like where was your mindset at? Because I feel like a lot of guys would take an easy fight. You're not doing that, so
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about kind of what your thought process is for this next matchup.
It was Cody, especially like he's been on our radar for a while. I believe that we've been in talks, like his names came across me and my coaches a few times, and I believe there was a couple times where I think he was signed with XFN, and then he was booked for Peak Fighting or the other promotion that he was fighting for, and we were trying to get him for LFA, and I think that was when he was booked. And so I've known about him like for a while, and I've seen a few of his fights, and I always thought I'm like, oh, that'd be a really good fight. Like he's a good fighter, and I want to fight good guys. So I'm like, let's run it. So it's cool that everything kind of circled back around, and now we're actually get in there and fight, especially after like a year or two of us both getting better and coming up and everything, and then we get to be on the main card for APFC, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about APFC. When did they hit you up? When did they express interest that they wanted you to go to Wisconsin to fight?
So my coach hit me up. This is probably 9 or 10 weeks ago. We usually like to do that for camps anyway. And so it was perfect. He's like, hey, you remember the Cody Linne guy? And I was like, yeah. He's like, do you want to fight him on APFC? I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, let's go. And then that was it. That's all. I mean, ever since then, it was kind of just like, yeah, let's do it. Never a hesitation. I don't, like I was saying before, I don't need easy fights. I don't need weak guys that train in their garage that I can just fucking smash. Like I want to fight tough guys, and I feel like I've proved that, especially in the last 2 fights that I've had. Jet Shell and then Oscar Gerardo, like both really tough studs, fighters. So it's I don't need to take the easy route to get there. I'm like I said, I'm not getting any younger, and I want to take the tough fights. This fight excites me, like it really does. So that's what we're doing.
Do you have to approach a fight like this maybe a little bit differently? Like you've been in this game for a little while. I know your record is a little bit misleading. It looks like a young, inexperienced guy, but like you've been around the block. You know how it works, right? And I'm not suggesting any fuckeries about to ensue. I'm not suggesting that, but I just will say any fighter worth their weight in salt knows when you go up there to fight a guy in his hometown, you have to go for that finish. And you can't let it go to decision. You can't. And you're like the Darth Vader. Nobody wants to see you win. People want to boo you, want to throw beer at you. Like, tell me, like, what's going on in your mind when you take into account all those factors that you're the blue corner, nobody wants you to win, and you have to get a finish.
Oh my God, yeah. I've done it before, man. I've done it before. I've made that walk against kids from really good gyms like his, and kids that are supposed to win and they're made to win, and I'm not shit, and I'm gonna do this, and then I go in there and impose my will. It's just how it goes. It's always how it's been. Like, I mean, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I've always done. And for me, there's a lot more to this fight than any other fight I've had. Like, I have a lot of personal goals that I want to accomplish in this fight, like things that I want to do and things that I want to show that I just haven't been able to show yet. It just hasn't been the right opponent. And like, I know Cody's coming with some heat. He's motivated, he's confident, and that excites me. That gets me really excited because I feel like that's going to bring the best out of him, and it's going to bring the best out of me, and it's going to make for a really, really good fight.
I look at Cody, and I'm really impressed by him. He is that prototypical like next generation MMA fighter that has probably only trained MMA for most of his life. Because he's only 21, 22 years old. He's a young dude. And I'm really curious to see like this next generation of fighters that are going to like they're starting to come up on the scene. It's like, oh my God, like these guys are going to take it's people like him, I think, that are going to take this sport to a totally different level. I think I look at
he's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He's good. He's one of those guys that I don't know. I feel like I've been fighting a lot of guys that are specialists at like one thing that they're really good at. Like Oscar was a really good kickboxer. And then, Jet was like a strong, big wrestler, and I feel like Cody's he's well-rounded. He's good everywhere. And I'm not saying the other two weren't, because they're both very good fighters, but I feel like Cody's like that next generation, well-rounded. He trains everything. It's not like the old days where you train one thing and you're really good at one thing. It's you train everything. And that's what makes me excited to fight him.
Cody only has one loss on his record. It's against a savage of a guy. His name's Kevin Fernandez. For people who don't know who that is, look him up. He's really, really good. Why is it that guys are having so much of a struggle against Cody Linne in the ring? Why are really good fighters struggling against this guy so much, in your opinion?
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, like I said, I feel like he's well rounded, and he's kind of like me, where he has a decent fight IQ, where he can figure out where people's holes are, and figure out how to exploit it. And I feel like me and my coaches have our plans and different things that we're gonna try to exploit and things we're gonna do. And but really, in all honesty, I feel like this fight, like my coaches kind of gave me free reign. It's kind of like wherever I want to take this, I can. We usually you have like that strict game plan where you're set here, and we of course have all of that. But for this fight, it's kind of just like, man, what, go in there and be free. Go in there and do, like, show out, and that's the biggest thing in this fight. And it, like we talked about last time, I feel like I know how to win, and I can win. I can win. I can impose my will. I can do whatever, that's how it's been my career so far. But I want to be able to show out too. I want to go out there and make highlights. I want to go out there and show that I'm ready for that next level. And I feel like he wants to also, and it's going to make for fireworks for sure.
In your mind, where do you feel like you have the biggest advantage over Cody?
Biggest advantage, I would say, as far as anything, I would say my experience. Even though he's got the fights on me. I mean, I've been doing this, like I was saying before we started. Today marks my 10 years from my first fight. And that was back before dudes there were on Tapology. That was before that was even a thing. You're fighting a guy that's got like 13, 14 fights, but you won't know that. You have no idea. You just go out there and you don't even know who you're fighting until you get there to the weigh-ins. That's just how it was. So I believe I have the experience. I believe that I'm going to be more physical, stronger, more athletic. And I believe that, even technique wise, I've seen it all, man. I've seen it all. I've been doing this for 10 years. You're not going to do anything to me that I haven't seen 1,000 times over. That's just how it is. And I just feel like, this is going to be the fight where I'm going to be able to show everything that I want to show and be able to accomplish the things I want to do. And it's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Without giving anything away, he is expecting, number one, a lot of pressure from you. He's expecting you to close the distance. He's expecting you to want to engage and trying to wrestle him and the grappling. These are the things that he is 100% anticipating. Like I talked to him about it. I was like,
Yeah.
what do you think about this guy? And he was like, wrestling right away. He's a shorter dude. I'm expecting him to really try to close in on the distance. I'm expecting him to be super, super aggressive. And I'm going to be ready for that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, fair enough. And I didn't ask him really any other questions. Like, do you have other things like up your sleeve that you're just that you got ready?
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to
Always.
ask you what they are, but like, do you have some other things in your back pocket?
Always, man. I mean, if I want to do that, I will. If I want to do that, but it's kind of like I said, this fight, whatever he's gonna give me, is what I'm gonna work off of. Like, I just want to go out there and I want to go out there and perform. I want to perform to the best of my abilities. It's not really about him. It's about, if I can perform to the best of my abilities, then I've done everything that I can. You know what I'm saying? And if I do that, I know I'm gonna come away with the win. I've got to go out there and show out. I can win however I want. I just need to go out there and show out. That's really it. And we do have a lot of things that we want to do, and as I'm sure that he does too. He probably sees things that everybody else has seen, when I'm fighting. But that doesn't mean that those things are going to be there this time. So it's going to be fun, man. Like I said, like he excites me. I love the fact that he's super confident. I think that's great. Like that gives me that extra little push in training to know this guy's so confident that he's going to beat me and he's going to, get out there and make his statement. I'm trying to do the same thing. And that's great. That's two guys. You got two guys that are tough, that are coming up right and it's a perfect matchup, I believe. Like, we both have enough fights to be fighting each other. We're both on a big show, and we're both super technical, and we're both really good fighters. And I think, like I said in my quote, it was best versus the best in the Midwest. I think whoever wins this is up there, man.
I think whoever wins this fight should get the opportunity to challenge for the APFC Flyweight Title against Immortal Lotus. I want to see that happen because you're really good. He's really good. Whoever gets his arm raised at the end of that night, like, you had a tough ass fight. You deserve an opportunity to be champion. in my opinion. I want to see that happen. And I'd be remiss to not ask you, the champion, Immortal Lotus. That guy is a fucking savage.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's a great fighter.
He's an undefeated fighter. He just came off a impressive knockout victory not that long ago. Like when you look at Immortal Lotus, like how would you fight that guy? Like how would you like what is the pathway to victory for you to beat a guy like that?
See, my thing is, I've never really seen any of his other fights. I saw his fight against Keanu,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he looked good. I
Yeah.
mean, he's sharp, powerful, like, but there wasn't. I didn't have enough time to be able to see anything that, like, as far as it's like, especially with Keanu, because I feel like Keanu, like, was injured in his last fight. I just don't. It just looked like he was still hurting from his war that he had before that. So it's like hard to be able to tell
Mm-hmm.
without seeing him being pushed to see like how I would do it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody looks like you look like a world beater when you're out there and you're fighting a guy who could be injured or you're doing whatever, and he could just be that good. I mean, he really could. I've just never seen any other fights of his. I've just seen the one that APFC put out. So
And that's gotta be like really exciting to you to know that like, hey, you can if you beat a guy like
yeah,
Lynn, like that opportunity is right there.
exactly. I mean, it's all tough guys from here on out. Like I mean, and it has been. Lynn's super tough, well-rounded guy, and Lotus is a beast, But I'm excited for that. Like I don't need to take easy fights, so it's just like, you know,
Okay,
let's go.
to compete on the big stage, you have to fight against the best. I think that's exactly
You
what
do.
you're doing. And for you, this is a special fight because not only is it going to be, it's either the co-main event or the main event. I don't know which. I think they're still
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. But it's a very huge platform for you to take an opportunity or for you to take advantage of this great opportunity. And it's also special in the sense that it'll be the very first time Anthony Pettis FC is bringing you on. Anthony Pettis will be there. He'll be watching you fight. John Jones will be there. He'll be watching you fight. So like, there's going to be a lot of like presence. There's going to be a lot of like build up. There's going to be a lot of media attention for this particular bout. For the people who have never seen you fight before, for the people who aren't in St. Louis, who have never seen an LFA fight, but they're going to this APFC fight, like what is it about you that people need to know about when you set foot in this cage here in a couple weeks?
Um, that I've worked for years and years and years for this. I work so hard, man. And you can ask anybody in my gym. I'm the guy that's staying later. I'm the guy that's getting up early. I get up at 6 a.m. and I go to strength conditioning or I go run. Then I go to work. I work a 9 to 5. I go to work. I recover at work, and then I go to the gym. I eat, sleep, and breathe this shit. This is all I do. This is literally all I do. Like I was telling you before we got on the thing, I've got my coach living with me now.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is all we fucking do. And I feel like before, I had so many things going on, and I had life things. I've had injuries. I've had some bad luck, but I'm here now. I'm fucking here now. I'm here to go, and I'm ready to show that I belong at that next level. And I never stopped training. I never stopped learning. Like I never did that. I've always been in the gym, and I've always been, grinding. It's just was just the amount of fights I was getting. It was either tough to get fights, couldn't get fights, or I was injured or something else in life would happen. But this is all I do, and this is all I've ever done, and I believe that this is my fucking time. It's my time to go out there and make something of this, and that's what drives me every day. To get up early and train, and to go through those 2 days. I haven't had a fucking day off this whole camp. My day off is like I'll go run and then I'll do something after for like some active recovery or something like that. I don't take days off. Like I love this stuff. It's what keeps me from going back to places where I was that I shouldn't doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. So it's good, and this is just the perfect opportunity to be able to show that, and especially for APFC. Like I love the fact that they're promoting me so much. It's pretty cool. Like it's really cool. Like, and I'm not knocking any other promotion or anything, but the way that they're promoting this, they make me feel like I'm like, even though I'm coming into his hometown, like I feel like I'm still like on the car. They're like, dude, this guy is good. Like watch him. I think that's cool because you see that in other shows where one guy is going to be promoted the whole time, and the other guy is just going to come in and whatever, that nobody gives a fuck about that guy, So it's cool. It's cool. I like their style, and I like the way they're doing it, and I look forward to fighting for them in the future too.
I look
So
forward to watching you compete in APFC before you go to the UFC. As always,
yeah,
my friend, I would like to give you the last word. I know that your coaches. I know that your coaches and your teammates have been grinding right alongside with you,
yeah,
ready for this. I was hoping you could talk about them a little bit, and anyone else that you'd like to thank before I let you go.
yeah. So right now, my main sparring partners, I've got Jordan Howard. He's 12-4 pro. He's amazing. He's a fucking savage. Dude's fought in Bellator a few times. He's been around. He's been around the game for a long time. Taekwondo, black belt, fucking brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Dude's crazy good. And I get to spar with him every single sparring session. That's my main guy that I'm sparring. And we have other guys like Jared Medley, Sam Pananes, a bunch of little guys at our gym. We've got like I feel like our gym, at least especially in St. Louis, we have all the little guys. I train with every single one that is in this area. So, I get the best training from even other gyms too. They'll come in and cross train with us. So, we've got all them. My strength coach, Matt Owen, he's really like putting it on me this camp. It's great. We always get stronger each camp, but this one is like we're focused on a lot of like speed and explosiveness too, and on top of the strength work and all the cardio stuff that he has me do, like the fucking Echo bike and shit like that. I hate that thing. I cannot stand it, but I've gotten to the point where I'm in it. Like, let's go. We're doing way more than we used to. The output I've put in for this camp is more than I've ever done. Choosing the hard stuff, choosing the hard rounds, and the hard strength conditioning, the hard runs where you're pushing yourself a little bit further. I believe that's always kind of been my thing. Is every camp I try to push myself a little bit further, a little bit further. And this one, it's been great so far, and we still have 3 weeks to go. I'll be a machine in 3 weeks.
I'm
I'm
looking
already feeling great. I could fight next week. Besides, like, obviously the weight, you don't want to make the weight right now, but like, other than that, I could fight next week. Put me in there.
Well, I know you're 420 pounds, so you only got a few more to go, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, but my cheat code, dude, Zevia.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Zevia,
You're the
dude.
Zevia guy. What's that?
So when my coach when my coach moved in, he brought 2 suitcases upstairs, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? What is in there?" And he's struggling up the thing. He opens it, and all these fucking Zevias fall out, and I'm like, "What the fuck is all that?" And instead of like, and there's different cards of the same flavor, and instead of like putting one in there, one in the fridge, and then keeping the other of the same flavor out of the fridge and just doing that, he puts all of them. So we have no room in our fridge. And I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, I'm regretting even moving you in here." And he's like, "Dude, give it like an hour, wait for these things to cool off and try one." And I tried one. I'm like, "Oh my God, I understand now." He's like, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 sodium, 0 everything. Like, dude, it's amazing. I'm obsessed. And they're peeping me. They're looking at my shit. So I'm just waiting for that sponsorship.
Have you considered maybe a Zevia tattoo somewhere? Maybe.
Dude, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. Right next to
Right next to Christian Bale.
Put him like right here, holding the Zevia.
Why not?
Yeah.
You can make, or maybe like a little small little Zevia can somewhere.
Yeah.
Strategically, like maybe like on the top of your foot. That'd be dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That could be the next tattoo.
Let's go. So who else do you need to thank before I let you go?
Obviously Wolves Den Training Center, my home gym. They do everything for me. My coach Mop, my dad, also one of my coaches. Drew and Grande, my other coach, who gets me my fights too. He's like kind of like my coach / manager. Dude does a fucking amazing job. He's gonna get me the same fights that any big time manager is going to get you. He's got connections everywhere, so he's a great guy to have. And that's really it, man. It's honestly it. Just the close people around me, honestly, and all of St. Louis. I feel like I'm getting so much support for this fight, and I'm going to have so many people tuning in to watch. I even have some people coming too. So it's going to be awesome.
Well, it's going to be awesome indeed. I wish you the best of luck on your fight, my friend. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I hope we can do this again very, very soon.
Oh, definitely, man. For sure. I love it.